Asa Hutchinson is here. Governor of Arkansas leaves office in January with a possible plane ticket to Iowa to start his own presidential bid, another key farming state. Governor, it's good to see you, sir. Just from a political perspective, and you've got a huge, big corporate farming also in Arkansas. Why is the plight of the American family farmer and the national security issues not been given the attention they seem to deserve?
Well, your story was fantastic, and I identified with it because my dad had a small family farm. I grew up on it. It was cattle, it was poultry, and I cherished those days. And we still have a lot of small family farms in Arkansas. We also have a lot of very, very large producers over in the eastern part of the state particularly. We have to support our family farmers. The gentleman made the point about it can't all be growing corn and soybeans. It has to also be, beets. It has to be berries. It has to be things that people like to have at their table, and that's where we can support them. A lot of the farm-to-table operations that we have are trying to grow in this state.
I hear you, and those are all good concepts, but the fact of the matter is it's not working, even from a national level. The family farms are drying up, and the Chinese are coming in buying them. Is this something that would be important enough for Republicans and Democrats to perhaps agree that more regulation is necessary, that stopping foreign corporations from buying farmland in the same way we stop foreign corporations from buying certain technology products?
Well, first of all, we have regulations that prohibit foreign ownership of land. It has to be approved by the either state or defense department to make those acquisitions, particularly if they're close to a military installation or it would compromise security or there's some other national security interest. So those can always be reviewed to see if they need to be tightened up. You look back in history, I remember the 80s, it was the Japanese that was buying up our farmland. And that was a concern then. And so for really 4 decades, we've been talking about the growth of corporate farming, and there has been a shift. And part of it is efficiency. We produce for the world. We produce almost 50% of the rice that's grown in the United States of America right here in Arkansas. We're very proud of that fact, some by family farmers, some by larger corporations.
Fair enough. Wanted to get your thoughts sort of on national politics as we are now looking outward. Geraldo Rivera, for the good of the nation, Ford pardoned Nixon. For the good of the nation, Biden should pardon Trump. You'd think almost about a kind of a deal here, right, which is pardon in return for going away and sailing off into the political sunset. What is more unlikely, President Trump agreeing to that or President Biden thinking it's a good idea?
Well, yeah, everything that Geraldo Rivera comes up with is not the best idea.
Yeah.
Obviously, it would be premature, and you have to look at it from the standpoint of what is good for our country, what helps our country be healed, and I don't think that would necessarily. You would have half the people talking about needing accountability. So I think you have to let the process work. We have a special prosecutor, that's been assigned to the case. Let's see what he does. Former President Trump says he's not going to cooperate with him. I don't think that's necessary in an investigation. I'm not wild about the special prosecutors. I'm not wild about investigating former presidents. We have to look at what's the national security interest. There are some very serious issues here, but let's get to the bottom of it quickly. I hate to see this carry on into 2024 and really mar the upcoming election or be a sideshow from what we need to concentrate on in the future.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.